Life Audio.
Welcome to the Team Us podcast, where we share how grace, commitment, and cooperation can help couples live the everyday moments of marriage together. Hey, everybody, we are Ted.
And Ashley Slater. What do Reese's, raisins, and rekindling romance have in common? More than you might think. In today's episode, we're starting with a fun look at the most popular October holiday candies. And then we'll dive into something even sweeter, 3 practical ways to keep the spark alive in marriage, whether you've been together 2 years or 20. So Ted, let's talk candy.
Candy.
Does it have anything to do with today's topic on rekindling romance?
Absolutely. It's sweet. It's got energy in it. It's...
See, I was going to say not exactly, although, you know...
It makes you lick your lips.
I mean, knowing...
I better stop.
Knowing your spouse's favorite candy might be helpful in the romance department.
There you go. Very
the whole flowers and candy thing. Or just you, candy and candy. You've been on a candy kick lately.
Uh-huh. And this is the Us Time Challenge. Eat all the candy in the house together.
Huh. Maybe.
I'm jumping ahead. Let's not do that quite yet. So where do you want to go with this
Okay,
conversation?
well, since it's October, every store has a candy aisle.
Oh, yes.
I mean, and they will through Christmas.
Right. And some stores now have multiple candy aisles with Halloween sales.
Yeah. So I thought, why not have a little fun and see which candies people are actually craving the most?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not candy corn. Though I know you don't hate it. It's just wax.
See, okay, I do like candy corn. But here's the thing. I wish they sold tiny little bags of candy corn. Because, like, when I've bought it in years past, I will eat a few and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then we've got this whole rest of the bag I don't know what to do with.
So they actually start out in Germany at an earwax factory. They didn't know what to do with all this excess earwax.
Is that right?
I'm just guessing. I heard that. I read it on the internet.
Candy corn, it's a controversial...
Yes. All right.
Okay, well, DoorDash dug into its data from last year, and chocolate won the top 4 spots.
Of course.
It was Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, snagged first.
Okay.
Which makes sense to me. I love those.
You're going to have kisses, chocolate kisses.
No, actually. It was followed by M&M's.
M&M's, okay.
Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bars.
Okay.
And Snickers.
I would think the Hershey's bars because everybody's making s'mores.
Maybe. Or maybe it's for people who like chocolate
Easy
but
grab and go.
don't like variety.
Okay.
Because it's just kind of plain.
It's kind of normal.
But I could see it with s'mores. I mean, It is that time of year. Well, I'll include a link in the show notes if those listening want to see the rest of the top 10. But here's a twist.
Yes.
So this year, based on August and September orders, DoorDash is predicting that Hershey's Cookies and Cream Bar might just take the number 1 spot.
That doesn't make any sense because it's does it have any chocolate? I suppose they can say it's got cocoa milk or
it's like
butter.
White, in quotes, chocolate.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I'm not a huge cookies and cream person, but I mean, our girls like it.
Sure.
So, well, and this report that I read even called out candy from beyond the grave, as they said, meaning nostalgic treats making a comeback.
Oh, okay. Those are always fun. They bring back memories from when I was a kid.
Right. Like Warheads.
Oh, yeah.
Lemonheads.
Sure.
Dum-Dums.
Okay.
And even the 90s classic Baby Bottle Pop.
I may be dating myself, but one of my favorites was from like the 70s or 80s. It was like the space candy. It was like these, like a chewy rolled thing that's like a cowtail, but not quite.
I don't think I've ever had
Nobody
that.
has alive except for me and those who are older.
And that's why we can't find it anymore. Although I bet it's in one of those big candy stores.
Absolutely, yep.
There's a big candy store next to a coffee shop I go to every week. I might have to go in there sometime.
There you go. Look for space candy.
Yeah. Well, okay. And apparently raisins saw a 522% jump in popularity around Halloween week last year.
Why? Because of chocolate covered raisins? Oh, because maybe they're an ingredient for like fun, scary
Or maybe
Halloween
they're
desserts.
people are like, what's a healthy alternative I can put when trick-or-treaters come?
Oh, there you go.
I mean, but I wonder if kids were actually excited about like raisins and Dum-Dums, or they were just budget-friendly fillers that adults picked out.
We will have to discuss this in another episode.
Right, because I know someone who several years ago bought big containers of those red and white mints because they were cheap to hand out at Halloween.
And still has them years later.
Because...
Yeah, they can only go so far.
Right. All right. Well, enough candy talk. Let's look at today's topic, which is rekindling romance.
Uh-huh.
So experts say that the spark often fades around the 2-year mark in marriage.
2-year?
Yeah. Like you have all those heightened in love feelings.
Sure. Which is good and, the way God made us.
Right.
That's awesome.
And then I think just real life.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Gary Chapman actually breaks it down into 2 stages of love. He says the first one's easy in those first 2 years because it's that in love feeling. And what you do just easily flows out of that.
Okay, I can see that. I can see some exceptions. I would think that maybe conflict resolution might be difficult in the first couple of years because maybe you don't know each other's styles of communicating and so on. But for the most part, I can see what he's talking about.
Yeah. No, I agree with that because I think, conflict is, unless people are somehow not having conflict in the first 2 years, but that worries me because then they're not being completely real with each other.
Yeah, I think I get it.
Yeah. But he says the second stage takes more intention to keep what he calls emotional love alive. And that's what we're focusing on today.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about 3 practical ways to rekindle romance, whether we've been married 2 years, 10, or 20.
That's interesting. So we're often told love is not a feeling or an emotion, but there is an emotional love, and it's a great to have in your relationship.
Right. Well, and I think that kind of is one thing that, I think you kind of need it, but maybe it's not built in the same way that people. It's not that necessarily that in love feeling.
Okay. Yes.
Although that you still feel that.
I do.
Yeah. It's maybe just not 24/7. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you.
Well, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and dig into this.
The Bible tells us, I will bless those who bless you. That's not just a nice sentiment, it's biblical prophecy. And it's a commandment from God, it's a calling, and right now we're called to act. The teachings of the New Testament are deeply intertwined with the Hebrew Scriptures. As Christians, we are called to honor and respect this shared heritage. The Apostle Paul reminds us in Romans 11:18, do not consider yourself to be superior to those other branches. If you do, consider this. You did not support the root, but the root supports you. Supporting the people of Israel is more than a belief. It's a biblical mandate. By partnering with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, IFCJ, we can live out this calling together. Just as the fellowship blesses God's children, we know that you will be blessed too. Learn more about the fellowship and how you can live out your faith, bless Israel, and be blessed in return. Visit ifcj.org today. Again, that's ifcj.org. Be the blessing, live the word, answer the call.
From director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story.
They said you had no chance, but here you are.
Starring Joel Courtney, John Corbett, Stephanie Shostak, Macy McLean, with Devon Franklin and William H. Macy.
If you focus exactly on loving the life that you're living right now, and not the life that you think you could have had or should have had, that's the whole deal right there.
Soul on Fire, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. In theaters this Friday. For tickets, go to soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on Fire.
All right, so today we are sharing 3 practical ways to rekindle romance in marriage. Are you ready for the first idea, Ted?
I am ready for the very first idea.
And this might not be what people might expect.
But they should.
Yes. Well, they should do. Okay.
Sorry, I'm in a goofy mood.
One is strengthen your friendship.
Absolutely.
Yeah. People listening might be going, what? Friendship? I thought we were talking about romance. But the two are connected.
Well, that's what your relationship is built on. If you don't have a friendship, you're burning gas. Not gas, but fluff. It's just, there's nothing substantial in that if you don't have a friendship foundation.
Right. And our pastor was even talking about it in a recent, he answered questions and it came up.
As your friendship builds, everything else builds. Trust builds, right?
Right.
And so on. So.
Yeah. And you know that I love to pull from the Gottman Institute.
Yes. Solid. Let's hear them.
So I'm about to do that again. Well,
and Gottman is not Guttmacher, just so that people know.
I don't know who that is.
I believe they're associated with Planned Parenthood, which is not at all what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, Dr. John Gottman and his wife, Julie, created something called the Sound Relationship House. And it's a framework that compares a healthy marriage to a house. And the foundation of this house is trust and commitment. And then there are like several additional floors built on top of it. And each one holds skills and attitudes that help us build a strong relationship.
This is a fun metaphor.
Yeah. And I have a link. I'll have a link in the show notes that goes to a visual of this.
Okay.
And so deep friendship is part of that foundational level. It is necessary. As you pointed out, it's a necessary part of trust and commitment.
Yeah, I for some reason my mind is going to the hierarchy of needs, but that's not. I'm
not
thinking
Maslow's.
of a thing that's sort of built on top of a triangle or food
the pyramid. Yeah, this is. It doesn't look. It's not a. It's not a triangle.
But the concept is that there's a foundation of friendship, and on top of that, you build.
Yeah, and
things.
Maybe they were inspired by that. I hadn't put the two and two together.
Well, that makes good sense. So if you're feeling meh, whatever, work on your friendship.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It shouldn't be hard.
Right. It's funny because you say Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know where I remember learning that? In my theater classes.
Theater?
Yeah. Because it helped you as an
Understand
actor.
your motivation, maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hey, that's cool.
Yeah. Huh. That's where I remember. I
love tangents.
I know. All right. Well, Gottman says happy marriages are based on deep friendship. And another article at the Gottman Institute says that deep friendship also forms the basis for intimacy and satisfying sex. Mm-hmm. So deep friendship can rekindle romance because it means we know each other well.
Right. I can imagine somebody saying, well, yeah, I can build a friendship, but I don't really respect this guy. But maybe if you build your friendship, respect will grow with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find ways to respect your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
There are things about me that are disrespectful.
Well, all of us have that. I think that actually goes to...
But there are some good, respectful parts of me.
Floor number 2.
Yeah.
In the Sound Relationship House is share fondness and admiration. So it's basically looking for and vocalizing the characteristics that you appreciate about your spouse. And I think that can help build and breed respect
What's
if it's
an example?
lacking. Well, like say I say to you, hey, Ted, I really love your sense of humor. I like when you're silly.
Uh-huh.
It lightens the mood. That's showing that I admire that about you.
I felt like you're about to give me a sandwich here.
No.
However, in this instance, it's not appreciated.
No, this is not about sandwiching.
Okay,
this is about just recognizing things throughout the day that you can vocalize and praise your spouse for. And I think that out of that, respect can grow.
That's a good attitude. It's a good attitude to have. Just looking for ways to compliment your spouse or build them up or affirm them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, well, in his book, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, Gottman writes, mutual respect, there's respect, and enjoyment of each other's company. This is how he talks about deep friendship. They tend to know each other intimately. They are well-versed in each other's likes, dislikes, personality quirks, hopes, and dreams. They have an abiding regard for each other and express this fondness.
Okay. That's reasonable. That's what friendship is.
Right. So I guess respect is part of that. Well, and we've told this story before.
It's hard for me to be friends with somebody I don't really respect.
Yeah. Agreed.
Gotta say.
Not like close friends.
Not close.
You can be
intimate.
like acquaintances.
Yeah, friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Friendish.
Well, okay. And as I was saying, we've told this story before, but back when we first started dating, we made lists of qualities we wanted our relationship to have. And we did that independently and then showed each other our lists.
We did.
And friendship was on both of our lists because we wanted that to be part of the foundation.
And I'm happy to say that was my idea. Right? Wasn't it? To
come
up
with
the
list?
Doing the list.
Yes.
Because I don't do a lot of things well, but that was a good idea.
It was a very good idea. I think I have those somewhere.
Ooh.
I need to find them. I think they're in this little box of stuff that I have.
Nice.
So overall, I think we've done pretty well over the last 22 years.
22.
Almost 23.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've had seasons where we haven't nurtured our friendship as well as we could. And so we've kind of needed the reminder to do that.
Right.
I remember maybe it was about a year ago, I picked up the book I mentioned, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. And I read the section on love maps, which is the foundation.
Okay.
That's where the friendship and the knowing each other can be built. And I realized there were a lot of questions in the book's exercise that I didn't know the answer to anymore.
Oh.
And so I think I came to you and I was like, I feel like we've been slacking in our friendship.
That's cool. That's a good insight.
It was just, I panicked a little bit.
It is easy to just sort of rest on status quo and, coast and get lazy and passive.
Right.
That's kind of how life pulls you, I think.
Yeah, well, and I said our pastor was answering, the most recent message was answering questions. And at one point he said, my wife has been married to 5 different men and they've all been me, because we grow and we change.
Over the years and decades, yeah. I'm not who I was when we got married.
Right, and I'm not either.
In some ways I'm better, in some ways I think I'm not as good, but yeah.
So
it's true.
We have to constantly be building the love map because things can change,
Excellent.
So, all right. So what are some practical ways we can keep building our friendship?
Yep.
One way is love maps, keep learning about each other's world. And Erin Smalley at Focus on the Family also shares some practical tips, and I'll link to her article in the show notes too, but here's a few of the tips she shares. She said, laughter and fun are foundational to building a friendship with your spouse. Laughter can set a lighthearted tone. Participate in things your spouse likes to do, even if they don't interest you, because effort says you care. And put the cell phone down. She says, don't phub or phone snub your spouse. Instead, be present.
Snub. That's interesting. That first point, I was reminded the importance of laughter. Last week, a friend of mine, Fletch, who used to live in Colorado Springs, now lives in Tasmania, which is Australia and New Zealand area. He gave a list of suggestions of things that we might consider doing to lift our spirits and become more healthy, and one of them was laughter. So after church today, we watched 10 minutes of funny cat videos. And that may sound kind of dumb, but I think there's a value to laughing together. And we were laughing at some of these funny cat things together.
Yeah. Oh, cats, they do the funniest things.
They do.
Yeah.
So.
Good. Okay. Well, you ready for the second idea?
No. Yes.
Okay. Express love through small gestures. So I think we can't underestimate the power of small daily acts of love, because they build emotional intimacy and show appreciation.
Simple things like making the bed.
Right.
Like folding the laundry. Simple little, they're not grand gestures of affection like a weekend getaway or a fancy meal or something. Just everyday love.
Right. Well, and Shanti Feldhine says one of the biggest differences between happy couples and struggling ones is that happy couples consistently do those little things that communicate, I care about you.
Mm-hmm. You got to do that. You got to do the little things. Again, life wants me to be lazy and sit on the couch and let you do everything. But this is just, you just got to do little things. You just got to do it.
Yeah. Like,
vacuum and clean up the yard and put gas in the tank. Take the car through the car wash once in a while. Offer to run some errands, pick up some groceries. Do you want anything else from the store? Just little things.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you're thinking about the other person, caring about the other person.
Exactly.
In little ways.
You do a lot of those things. You do make the bed every morning. And if you don't, I joke and say, hey, do you not love me as much today?
And I say, nope. You got it, babe.
But those daily acts, they add up.
Yeah.
Or, every night you kiss me goodnight and tell me you love me. It's a small daily ritual, but it's something that means a lot, keeps us connected. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All
Perfect.
Right. Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll share one more way to keep the spark alive in marriage.
The Bible tells us, I will bless those who bless you. That's not just a nice sentiment, it's biblical prophecy. And it's a commandment from God, it's a calling, and right now we're called to act. The teachings of the New Testament are deeply intertwined with the Hebrew Scriptures. As Christians, we are called to honor and respect this shared heritage. The Apostle Paul reminds us in Romans 11:18, do not consider yourself to be superior to those other branches. If you do, consider this. You do not support the root, but the root supports you. Supporting the people of Israel is more than a belief. It's a biblical mandate. By partnering with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, IFCJ, we can live out this calling together. Just as the fellowship blesses God's children, we know that you will be blessed too. Learn more about the fellowship and how you can live out your faith, bless Israel, and be blessed in return. Visit ifcj.org today. Again, that's ifcj.org. Be the blessing, live the word, answer the call.
From director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story.
They said you had no chance, but here you are.
Starring Joel Courtney, John Corbett, Stephanie Shostak, Macy McLean, with Devon Franklin and William H. Macy.
If you focus exactly on loving the life that you're living right now, and not the life that you think you could have had or should have had, that's the whole deal right there.
Soul on Fire. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. In theaters this Friday. For tickets, go to soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on fire.
So today we are sharing 3 practical ways to keep the spark alive or rekindle romance in marriage. So far we've talked about friendship and small gestures.
Do you want the spark alive or do you want a flame alive? Do you want a furious fire burning spark? Spark is good. Let's
I don't know. That's a good question. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you.
Okay, let's keep the spark alive.
So number 3 is forgive and forget the score.
It's one of the toughest, most difficult things humans can do. This is it.
Yeah. And I think you do set the tone early in your marriage for this, you know?
Yes.
I think we tried to set the tone early in our marriage for forgiveness and having what we call a lighthearted marriage, which I'll get a little bit more into in a minute.
Okay.
And I think that has helped us because I do think we do pretty well. I mean, sometimes we have to take several days to work something out or a week, but we usually are then like, wait, what were we fighting about last week?
Right.
You know?
I'm more like that because I think my memory is just, my brain's getting filled up with memories. I'm trying to find space for the new ones.
I'm with you. I'm like, wait, I don't remember
So you
that.
said forgiveness, and I'm reminded of what our pastor said this morning about forgiveness being where you don't owe somebody anything. So for example, if I forgive you, you no longer owe me anything.
Right. I mean, it might, depending upon what it is, we might have to build trust back up.
You might have to build trust. Right. Work may still need to be done to improve the relationship. But yeah, forgiveness is you don't owe me anything. You don't owe me an explanation. Right. You don't owe me an apology. You don't owe me bad feelings or sadness or regret. It's forgiven. Right.
I mean, it'd be good if you got an apology and an explanation.
And a discussion.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. So, absolutely. I mean, that's conflict resolution. There's a lot of value in that.
Yeah. Well, and I don't follow Tony Robinson's and haven't read a lot of his stuff, but I found an interesting blog post from him that I wanted to share because I thought he used interesting language.
Sure.
He says that when it comes to keeping the spark alive in marriage, couples need to, quote unquote, stop living old stories.
It sounds interesting. I mean, tell me what you mean, because I'm thinking you do want to remember where you came from. It's your foundation. It is your story, but new stories. What do you mean?
In other words, embrace forgiveness and move forward. So this is what he says. I'm going to quote him.
Don't get stuck in the yucky past.
Yeah, he says, don't filter your partner through a past story. That's old news and it's over. Instead, think about what will make that person feel loved and seen in the moment. When you release the past, you can love your partner for who they really are and discover how to keep a relationship alive in a new context.
Interesting. Well, for some reason, I found myself listening to a particular musician. Her name is Blanca. I don't know. I just like her style and her lyrics and her music and stuff. But one of her songs is "Never Too Late to Start Over Again," and so that's kind of the same along the lines of what you're saying. You can, if your story's gotten really weird, it's not too late to start over. You got the characters, you got the situation. Making good story from here.
Well, it's like
story of redemption.
I think there was a Switchfoot song because we've been listening to a lot of Switchfoot.
We've been listening to a lot of Switchfoot,
and I think
we recommend that our audience listen to Switchfoot.
Like musical therapy. And it was something like every sinner or every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future.
Oh, wow, huh? Good word.
So that kind of ties into.
You can take a pause. You're getting a little moved. Up. Yeah.
Well, okay. Story. And so, like I said, we've talked a lot about having a lighthearted marriage.
Yes.
Which is like an entire chapter in the book, Timas.
And we have a heavy life. We have heaviness in our life. But as far as, we seek a lighthearted marriage.
Well, and when I say a lighthearted marriage, it's a relationship. I mean, yes, there's laughter, there's fun, but it's a relationship free from grudges. Like we forgive and we don't keep score. We don't let the bitterness build.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, keeping a grudge is fair. You know, you are within your rights to keep your grudge. But let me challenge you to do forgiveness instead. It's unfair and it's much better.
Well, it'll eat you up.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'll ruin you.
You know, when as couples we're tallying up each other's mistakes, it's also impossible to feel close.
Yeah.
You can't be rekindling, keep that spark alive if you've got this wall of, grudges and bitterness and resentment between
and embarrassment and shame.
Right.
I mean, when there's unforgiveness, there's shame,
Or if you feel like you owe the other one and you are continually trying to, what you're doing is flowing out of that rather than just a sincere love.
It's good. We're spending a lot of time on this, which is, I think it shows how important it is.
Right.
How we value this.
Well, I don't think people think about it as a way to keep the spark alive or rekindle romance.
It is.
They think, okay, can I fix it with flowers and all this stuff? You got to get to the deeper issues that are keeping you from that connection.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one to end on, the third point. You don't have a fourth point, do you?
Nope, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I think when we both know that the other isn't harboring a grudge and building resentments, we can laugh at our mistakes. We can admit our weaknesses, and we can keep building that safe place for romance. We can feel safe, being who we are. Because I think it was Delaney was talking, and he said, essentially, we're all, especially in marriage, as we're getting, as we show new parts of ourselves, we're like, oh, you just saw that about me. Do you still love me now? There's all there's that insecurity in us of, oh, do you still love me now? And I think it's hard to be able to go, yes, they still do, when you know that there's weirdness and unforgiveness there. So
excellent.
All right. Well, to recap, here are 3 ways to rekindle romance or keep the spark alive in marriage. The first is strengthen your friendship. The second is express love through small gestures. And the third is forgive and forget the score. All right. It's time for one more short break.
Yep.
When we come back, we'll share this week's Us Time Challenge.
The Bible tells us, I will bless those who bless you. That's not just a nice sentiment, it's biblical prophecy. And it's a commandment from God, it's a calling, and right now we're called to act. The teachings of the New Testament are deeply intertwined with the Hebrew Scriptures. As Christians, we are called to honor and respect this shared heritage. The Apostle Paul reminds us in Romans 11:18, do not consider yourself to be superior to those other branches. If you do, consider this. You did not support the root, but the root supports you. Supporting the people of Israel is more than a belief. It's a biblical mandate. By partnering with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, IFCJ, we can live out this calling together. Just as the fellowship blesses God's children, we know that you will be blessed too. Learn more about the fellowship and how you can live out your faith, bless Israel, and be blessed in return. Visit ifcj.org today. Again, that's ifcj.org. Be the blessing, live the word, answer the call.
From director Sean McNamara comes Soul on Fire, based on a true story.
They said you had no chance, but here you are.
Starring Joel Courtney, John Corbett, Stephanie Shostak, Macy McLean, with Devon Franklin and William H. Macy.
If you focus exactly on loving the life that you're living right now, and not the life that you think you could have had or should have had, that's the whole deal right there.
Soul on Fire, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. In theaters this Friday. For tickets, go to soulonfiremovie.com.
Soul on fire.
All right, for this week's Us Time Challenge, it's simple, and it's not eat as much candy as you can, unless you really want to.
By the way, that echo effect on challenge is not done with any kind of software effect. It's me. I'm doing it. In case you're wondering where the awesome echo is coming from.
You started that, 3 or 4 episodes ago, and it is just kind of stuck. It's amusing.
It's silly.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what I think, and then you can add what you want. Okay, pick 1 or 2 small gestures of love to practice each day this week. Like keep making the bed, please.
Okay, that's super good.
Yeah.
And let me throw one out there as well. Find one thing you can forgive your spouse for.
Yeah.
And tell them you forgive them. Hopefully they don't feel like, I had something to be forgiven?
Right, because sometimes we don't I think that's a problem too, is if
you don't realize
we don't express that we're upset about something. But that goes back to last week's episode on why you shouldn't let unresolved conflict linger.
Maybe we should do an episode on forgiveness. Like, how do you actually do it in real life?
Yeah. No, that's good. All right.
Coming soon.
Yes.
Or coming...
Maybe not next week, maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Because that's when I'm going to really have to dig into. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on the Team Us podcast. We're looking forward to next time as we keep talking about how grace, commitment, and cooperation can help couples live the everyday moments of marriage together.
Team Us with Ted and Ashley Slater is a production of Life Audio and Salem Media. If you liked what you heard today, please take a second to rate and review the podcast in your favorite podcast app so that more listeners like you can find the show. For more faith-filled, inspirational podcasts, visit us at lifeaudio.com.
At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love, because helping you put your faith into action is at the heart of what we do. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.